Hey, it's Char. Take two. I just tried to make this video a minute ago and my Wi-Fi went down as luck would have it, so you got lucky. This is my second time. Anyways, I wanted to share, how do you get through chaos and not just get through it or survive through it, how do you thrive through the process of chaos? And last fall, I briefly dated somebody, wanted to break up with him. He wasn't a fan of that. Created widespread damage and chaos in my life. Big. Like big. I guess I don't ever do anything small, so this has got to go big. And this person was so mad and so hurt from it all that spread lies, rumors, called the press, put me on the paper, spread it on the internet, and the ripple that this person created. And as I was going through it, I have a video diary of that time frame, and as I was going through it, it was very tough, very tough. It's absolutely the toughest thing I had to go through in my life up to this point. But what I knew going into it was I was ready for it. And the beautiful things that came from it, that the evolving of my understanding of things that had happened to me in my past, to bring me to this moment and to be able to thrive through it it's just an amazing journey. So let me go back. And from the very beginning, when chaos strikes, we don't see it coming. It's not something that we plan. It's not something that we can predict. And it's that saying that you don't choose what you go through, you just choose how you go through it. And that's exactly what this is about. So I knew from the very beginning, when this process of dominoes started happening in my life, that I was ready for this, especially when you're coming from a place of truth, transparency, and if somebody is spreading lies or rumors about you that are just absolutely not true, you do not have to defend the truth. It goes back to that saying of actions speak louder than words. If somebody is out there speaking words, while in the immediate moment that might hurt and it might cause a lot of chaos and damage, if your actions continue to be who you are and who you've always been, then you don't have to worry about the words. And that wasn't easy to do. Okay, that was not easy to do, especially when this person kept attacking and kept attacking and kept attacking. For months, this person kept attacking, and nothing was done to protect me against this person. And so in the moment when it first started, I knew that this is going to grow me. And it was a choice that it was going to grow me, and that I knew through this process I'm going to be meeting people and new people and in ways that I wouldn't normally, through my normal comforts of life, I would come across people. And I had to allow myself time. Because when we're in the immediate moment of something happening to us, there's a lot of emotion that happens, especially that first 24 hours. So just recognizing when something's going on, that how I feel right now today, first and foremost, breathe, deep breaths help. But how I feel today is full of emotion and it's very responsive. But tomorrow there's going to be a lot more logic and the day something happens, reaction, the next day is responsive. And so I knew that as things were coming at me that I just needed to remember to breathe. You have to go basic sometimes when you're in the middle of chaos, and just remember to breathe. And I came back to knowing that this is going to grow my mindset, and that I had gained that trust through that process through, I'd gone through a divorce about 2 years before that I didn't see coming. I really did not want to have to go through, but trusting that process and knowing that if I go and take a look in the mirror at my actions and what I need to be doing and how I need to be walking, that this is going to grow me. From the beginning, I had clarity on what my purpose was. And if you don't have that clarity on what your purpose is or what you're doing here, and you know what, this is kind of an internal life GPS. I've got some notes I want to share with you guys. It's something that changes. And it is something that, I got the notes here. It's very key to knowing, especially in the middle of chaos, if you are very clear on your purpose and what you're doing, it's going to keep you solid. It's going to keep you on solid footing. And it's kind of like an oil change for your life, having clarity on your purpose. It's not something you do once. It's something that is a maintenance, and you're going to keep revisiting this. It's never easy to come up with that clarity. You might have to push through some new areas. And when you think about how important this is on your clarity and your purpose. You know, a lot of us, we don't just jump in a car and say, I'm going to go on vacation without some kind of plan in mind. Even if it's just the state, I'm going to go to California, you at least have some direction that you're going to go. And so the clarity through all of this, when chaos struck my life, because I knew what my clarity was and my purpose was through this process, I didn't lose my bearings. I didn't get lost in that ocean of confusion and the ripple of damage and surprise that came after that. Remember that when you're in the middle of chaos, that you need to be mindful of what you expose yourself to. So be really careful, especially if you're weak or you're going through something you haven't gone through before, to be very, very, very careful. Think about if you broke your arm, you're not going to go out and pitch a softball or a baseball. You're going to give yourself some time to heal. So if you're in the middle of widespread chaos in your life, you have to be very careful and feed your mind, be protected of your mind, and also feed your mind. And it's positive stuff, but it's not just your mind, it's all of your senses. It's your smell, your touch, your hearing, your visual, your taste. Feed all of them, and feed them all things that make you happy to balance what you're going through. And then if you've got to go through the rumor mill, or you've got to deal with people who don't know the full story, and that's what happened in my life, is that I was on the news, and that box that hangs on the wall does not do any thinking for you. There are people who are paid a lot of money to put things in front of you just to get clicks, and they want to be as controversial and as dynamic. It's not even dynamic, it's the wrong word. They just want to, they're not looking for the truth, they're looking for ratings. And so understand that other people's perspective through a situation, especially when they're not knowing the entire situation, other people's perspective creates their reality. It has nothing to do with me. And there's actually nothing I can do to change it. And so really, 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 really quick, my ego went away. It was already in check, but it totally went away, because if I was so worried about what other people thought of me, then all I would do is chase my tails and go in circles. But because I had absolute clarity of my purpose, what my intent was, and knowing where I'm going through this process, while I care what other people thought, and if they were aware or conscious enough to ask me my opinion or the truth, then I would slow down to share it with them. But for the most part, if they didn't, I know who I am, and I'm going to continue to walk my walk, because actions speak louder than words. And so let me go back real quick to the clarity. If you're stumbling or you don't know how to get that clarity on what your purpose is, what you need to do is you need to create a list of 25 things that you want to do before you die. It could be small, could be big. Might want to, I don't know, start a butterfly farm. Might want to go milk a cow. I have no clue. But start that list today. And it's really neat once you start putting it in writing how those things come to be. And in the middle of all that pollution of noise and chaos that was going on in my life, because I had my clarity of where I was going, I could see through it all. You know, there is a saying by John Lingate. Now, John Lingate was a monk. He was a monk and a poet. Back in the year 1370. That's like 650 years ago, okay? And I've got a quote I'm going to read to you that was actually later adopted by President Lincoln back in the 1800s, over 200 years ago. And what's funny about this is it still applies today. You know, you can please some of the people all the time. You can please all the people some of the time. But you can never please all the people all of the time. I'm going to add something to that. But you can please yourself 100% of the time. And if by chance you handled a situation and maybe you didn't handle it correctly, or maybe you felt like you blew a situation, or you just didn't react the way that you know you are, you know, you can always evaluate your actions, and at the end of the day reflect and kind of adjust that course of what you wish you would have done, or you would take accountability and responsibility for maybe what you did, but being able to reflect and then learn. How could I have done it differently? And then adjust your course. So the next time, that's what you do. When you are looking for, got a lot of notes here. This really, really struck pretty deep with me. I want you to know that. You know, when you are busy trying to care or spending your energy on where other people are coming from, and you're letting that really get you off course because you're so busy trying to do damage control, that's going to take you off your course really quick. You know, the most important thing through the process It's not what other people think of you, because that's none of your business, really. Let them think what they want to think. Hurting people, hurt people, small minds, talk about people, and all of those things were reminders to me of things I've grown through, and I'm not there anymore. What you think of you is the only thing that matters. And when you're coming from your place of purpose, you can weather any storm that will come your way. And to remember that your actions speak louder than words. If I was correct with my purpose, oh, I know what I was going to say here. So when this situation arose in my life, it had a sensational headline, which don't even know how somebody came up with that, but sensational is an understatement. And it was about 4 days later, I was sent in my car, and I was waiting for a girlfriend to join me to do a little thrift storing. And she was running a little bit late, and at the time I was a little bit annoyed, but not too much annoyed, but I was really just I was praying is what I was doing on giving me strength to get through this. And my faith, if I did not have my faith through this, my faith, I have 3 F's: my faith, my friends, my family. Those are 3 things that if I did not have to go through this, but most importantly was my faith. Knowing that I'm coming from a place of genuineness and truth, and that if I'm going through a persecution, just like my faith is Christian, so just like Jesus did. You know, when he walked this world, all he did was love people. And look what we did to him. And we need to be more cognizant of that when people are just trying to be true and love the world and set good examples, not to be jealous or try to persecute them, to just embrace them, because it's actually what the world needs more of. But I was in my car and I was praying and I was asking God to make sense of the chaos. And in that moment, what he said to me was, it's all in the headline, Char. That's what just kept coming through, is it's all in the headline. And so what I did in that moment was I started my YouTube channel. And I started balancing what I was going through. I was going through negativity, but because we can have absolute control of how we go through it, I was making sure that even though there was negative things going on in my world, the only thing I was going to contribute to the world was positivity. And in that moment, I created a YouTube video. It was a little, you know, I was all over the news. They were doing marketing, and I did a little marketing too. And I put a headline that was like, latest news, breaking update. And within 4 or 5 hours, like 10,000 people watched that video. And all I did was let them know that I'm back in business and I have a real estate team. And it's all in the headline. So remember what I said at the very beginning, is that when you are going through something, remember it's to grow you. And there's always opportunities through it. Now you could turn a blind eye to it, or you could see the opportunity and let it grow you and seize them. And that's exactly what I did. And if you want to see my YouTube video, go look at Daily Dose of Char. We've got a whole lot of videos there, and I'm going to add to them every day. And you'll see how you can thrive through chaos. You know, you're only given, what is this? Oh. It's easy for people to sit back and watch me go through something like that and think that it's something that you would never go through. But at any given time, we're all going through something, coming out of something, or getting ready to go through something. And while my chaos in my life was very visual and known in the community, there are a lot of people who are going through things that are quiet. Maybe they don't share. And we need to remember that we're all in this together. And that we're supposed to be there for each other, and we're supposed to help each other. We're not supposed to beat each other up. We're supposed to love each other. And that if you can't leave somebody better than you found them, if you can't give them love, then just don't give them anything. Don't hurt them. I know the person that created this chaos in my life, I'm very thankful for today. And that was a process that I had to work through, because he increased my soul's strength and ability and muscle more than anything you can ever know. And it's a beautiful process if you allow it to happen, or you can fight it. And the fighting takes just as much energy if you just let it happen. And you're going to end up at a better place if you allow it, because it's all for your goodness. It's all for building you and growing you and creating a better version of you. So when you are going through chaos, What you need to remember to do is go back to what your purpose is and what your clarity is. Don't get caught up in the storm. All the people around you, or all the things or people around you that might create the noise and the pollution and the things that you get worried about or sucked into. I mean, I didn't watch the TV. I still don't. I got it in my house, but I really don't watch it. You are in control of all of that. And I don't have any superhero strength or power more than what anybody else does. I'm not doing anything that you can't do also. It's just a matter of sharing it and remember that we're in this journey together. And at any given time when chaos strikes, the mindset is so important, and it's not something that you can increase when you're going through chaos. It's something that you work on right now, today. You're working on it every single day. You know, we work on taking care of ourselves. We work on getting our hair color. We work on getting our hair cut. We work on how we dress. We need to remember that our mindset is a daily maintenance thing, just like brushing your teeth. And you don't want to wait until you're in the middle of chaos to think about that or to work on it and change it. You need to be doing it today, right now, every single day, to make sure that when you need that muscle in your life, your soul muscle, to get you through those moments that would break you, that would stop most people, that you're not stopped. And if I can do it, by golly, everybody else can. I swear to God. Anyways, that is my message for today. I hope you guys took something away from it, and love to hear your thoughts down below. Remember, if this said something to you, please share it. Remember, we are all powerful, and we are all connected. And go love somebody today. Bye.